Good evening, and thank you for joining us here on CNYHomepage.com for Eyewitness News. I'm Thomas Payer. We're coming to you in this format this evening because of a power outage that affected our studios here on Smith Hill this morning. That power outage has relatively done a lot of damage to our computer systems up here. So we're still trying to get ourselves back on the air to bring you the local news that matters. But for now, we're going to bring you that local news that matters right here. Let's get started in Boonville. 5 people are in critical but stable condition tonight at either Wynn Hospital in downtown Utica or Upstate Medical Center in Syracuse after they were caught in an explosion this morning in Boonville. Just before 10:30 this morning, Boonville firefighters were called in to the Abundant Life Fellowship Church on State Route 12 for reports of a gas odor. The Boonville fire chief, 3 of his firefighters, along with the pastor of that church, were all inside the building when the furnace turned on and triggered the explosion around 10:45. 4 of those injured were in the basement at the time. A lone firefighter was on the first floor trying to air the gas out of the church. As we can tell by the images that we saw this morning, the church was completely destroyed. State police are still interviewing those who were injured at the hospitals, but we're told that there is no indication tonight of any criminal activity. At this time, State Route 12 is closed between Potato Hill and Kerwin Roads. Details are still coming in as the story continues to develop, so we will bring you those details on the air as soon as we're able to get back on the air and here on CNYHomepage.com and our social media channels. We'll bring you the latest updates also on our CNY Homepage app, so make sure you download that to get those alerts right on your phone. State lawmakers are scrambling to save a state-run health insurance plan that covers more than 1.7 million New Yorkers that's facing an uncertain future this evening amid further spending cuts in Washington. New York's Essentials plan stands to lose $7.5 billion that were cut by President Trump's Big Beautiful Bill last year. That funding equates to half of the funding that goes into the Essential plan. And the money was cut from the plan because of the fact that this plan covers immigrants who are not yet citizens. That was a major sticking point in President Trump's bill last year. That demographic of immigrants on the Essentials plan accounts for 43% of those who are covered. Governor Hochul and members of the state legislature are trying to keep the plan afloat without creating a massive hole in the upcoming budget. Cutting benefits for immigrants here in New York State is off the table due to a recent court order. So instead, lawmakers are looking to change the eligibility requirements from those who make up to 250% of the federal poverty level to just 200%. Now, despite efforts to save the added safety net program, which would cost more than $2 billion in the upcoming state budget, The Gothamist reports that many of those who are currently covered by the Essential Plan stand to lose their coverage by July. Now, in last year's state budget talks, lawmakers earmarked $3 million to the state's prison watchdog in the months after the killing of Robert Brooks at Marcy Correctional Facility. But this year, Governor Hochul isn't pushing any money towards the watchdog despite ongoing issues at the state prisons. The Correctional Association of New York gets most of its funding through either grants or donors, but the increased funding from the state last year allowed the watchdog to hire 10 more full-time staff members in order to conduct more inspections at prisons across the state, which continue to be understaffed, leading to frequent lockdowns and deteriorating conditions. State Senator Julia Salazar, who chairs the Committee on Corrections, told New York Focus that only funding the watchdog's efforts for 1 year defeats the purpose of the first year's funding. Lawmakers are expected to include renewed funding for the watchdog in their counter proposals, which will be released in the next few weeks. The final New York State budget is due on April 1st. Over $20 million in tax credits and state subsidies have been announced from Albany to help build almost 200 units of affordable housing here in the Mohawk Valley. The biggest chunk of that funding is coming here to the city of Utica, where $9 million will go to help build 66 units of affordable and supportive housing at the Columbia Square Apartments project in West Utica. They won't just be apartments either. We're told by the governor's office that the money will also support single-family homes. homes. Almost $8 million is heading to our south in the city of Oneonta, which will help build 61 units of affordable housing at Solstice Commons, and almost $6 million will fund phase 2 of redeveloping the Little Falls public housing portfolio with 44 units of new affordable housing for seniors at Rockton Plaza. Both the Oneonta and Little Falls projects are expected to feature on-site solar power, which will help keep energy bills down for residents. To stay up to date on your local news, sports, and weather, visit our website, cnyhomepage.com, and don't forget to download our CNY homepage app so you can get the latest local news that matters right on your phone. Time now for our Eyewitness weather forecast. Here's meteorologist Jordan Reed.
Thanks so much, Thomas. Happy Tuesday evening to everybody, and once again, thanks for bearing with us during these technical difficulties, but we're still able to give you a look at your forecast. We'll start with this evening before we get to the messy Wednesday that we have ahead of us. We'll see temperatures dropping from the middle into the lower 30s as the evening goes on, eventually ending up into the upper 20s as the night goes on, and there will be fairly calm winds out there, so we won't be dealing with much of a wind chill factor. Now, as far as the next couple of days are concerned, or actually what you need to know through your Wednesday, we'll be dealing with a wintry mix and accumulating snow from Wednesday through very early on Thursday morning, and that means slick roads will make travel hazardous and not expected to be a major concern, but there will be a bit of a breeze as we head through, particularly Wednesday afternoon out of the east. So as a result of that, we do have a winter weather advisory that has been issued for all of central New York minus Lewis County, where you will miss out on a lot of that snow. That goes from noon Wednesday through 4 a.m. on Thursday. And walking you through the timeline with your futurecast, starting things off at 7 o'clock this evening, we'll see again temperatures dropping through the 30s and a lot of clouds. Could be some patchy fog, just like there has been over most of the day. And then as we head through about 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, we'll see winds out of the north and northeast, keeping areas up toward the north into the 20s, but down toward the south, you'll see the lower, if not the middle 30s out there. And there could be a bit of a wintry mix breaking out as you head further toward the south. But I expect most of the precipitation to hold off to about 10 a.m. to noon is when it'll develop. And you'll notice across portions of Chenango and Otsego counties close to that Interstate 88 corridor, there could be rain to start, but then as we get some colder air down at the surface, it looks like it changes over to a period of sleet and freezing rain there before we all go over to snow. And you'll notice that again, areas further to the north really missing out on this system with just a lot of clouds and maybe a few snow showers there. But as far as snowfall accumulation is concerned, the heaviest is going to be from the thruway on toward the south, where there could be as much as 6 to 12 inches in those deeper blues, and then less as you go even further toward the south, where you are expected to mix with and change things over to rain. As far as the 7-day forecast is concerned, we'll see again that wintry mix as we head through your Wednesday, and then 37 on Thursday, so carbon copy temperature wise, but definitely looking a lot nicer and drier. We'll see a mix of sun and clouds. It looks like the best day of the next 7. And then Friday and Saturday, it looks like we could see some rain and snow redeveloping, another system moving in, middle to upper 30s both days. And then for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, it's much colder, and it looks like we could see a few more snow showers by then. In the meantime, Thomas, I'll send things back over to you.
Thank you, Jordan. Don't forget that you can always find more local news that matters on our website, cnyhomepage.com. Thanks for watching Eyewitness News on cnyhomepage.com and on our Eyewitness News social media channels. I'm Thomas Payer. Have a good night.